Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what fake thing that happens in movies pisses you off? Firing guns in enclosed spaces not deafening anyone. 8 Last Archer got this right. And Black Hawk Down. I always think of the tank scene from early Walking Dead days when I see this now. That's like the one semi-accurate portrayal I've ever seen. Or when they shoot at extremely close range but the gun gets knocked away last second by the hero so the shot just grazes their ear. Like, you are now deaf in that ear, at least temporarily, dude. I've not seen much of this show, but I read a post once that made me laugh. About how the zombies seem to make so much noise but are able to sneak up on the protags, and someone theorized it was because they had been firing weapons for so long without hearing protection that they were actually always screaming at each other and they are practically deaf, but because we're seeing it from their POV it seems like they are just talking. So when they think they are talking quietly sneaking through the woods or whatever, they are actually yelling at one another, and that's why they continuously get surprised by things that are constantly making noise. This has gotten a bit of attention, so allow me to clarify. I have seen collectively maybe 3 episodes of this show from when my roommate had it on once a week like 4 or 5 years ago. All my knowledge is dad in cowboy hat yell at cowboy son meme, eye patch son. Corolla Eins, and bad guy leather daddy baseball bat. Love all your discussion and theory, but I can't even begin to speculate because I've not actually seen the show. This is just me regurgitating a Reddit theory that has now been adopted by a YouTube channel, it seems, from years ago. People sneaking around inside air ducts. Don't get me wrong, in big buildings you absolutely can walk around in there, I've done it a lot, but 1. They're dirty as sin, not gleaming metal. 2. There are screws poking in there and sharp edges everywhere. 3. There are lots of barriers to movement, fans, filters, humidifiers, dampers and fire dampers. All of those would stop your progress. 4. It's not a quiet process, that metal bonks and clucks like crazy under your weight. Reminds me of the Mythbusters episode where Adam tries sneaking through a duct using magnets and it sounds like a damn cannon. That's Jamie, not Adam. Adam did the vacuum suction window climbing rig, instead. Episode 54, Crimes and Misdemeanors 1. When someone is driving and they look away from the road by looking at the person in the passenger seat for a prolonged amount of time, or when they are constantly turning the wheel and the car doesn't move, things like that bother me too much, lol. Parasite actually did this pretty well. There's a scene where the father's driving the rich guy and is doing just that, and I was getting anxious seeing him do that. And then the rich guy gets pissed and tells him to keep his eyes on the road. I always wonder what this was trying to tell the audience. 3 times now I've seen actors doing this, followed by the car getting into a horrific accident, usually getting T-boned so we see the second car coming, and now I always expect it to happen when they spend more than 2 seconds with their eyes off the road. Was watching a film last night and the main character took his eyes off the road and stared at the passenger for a good 10 seconds, was defiantly expecting a crash but nothing, lol. When an actor clearly has no idea how to play the instrument they're holding. They don't have to be an expert, but Christ, someone show them where their fingers are supposed to go, or stop focusing the shot on their fingers. Flipped very well in School of Rock where Jack Black is an accomplished musician, and the kids in the band really did play their instruments /sang. They've done live performances together, pretty rad. After a hit to the head or being knocked unconscious, people are fine after a minute. Concussions don't seem to exist in movies. It's super bad for you. God bless Archer. Acting like an easily removable piece of duct tape silences someone. Yes. In real life it only muffles the screaming slightly. When I was a teenager I played with duct tape often, and I felt the need to test this trope. I put a single piece of duct tape over my own mouth and gave it the best seal I could give. I was able to remove it with my tongue in just a few seconds. Turning on the TV at the exact moment a relevant news report starts. Turn on the TV. What channel? Any channel. Cartoon Network it is. Arrested Development had a pretty good gag involving this. Michael's lawyer calls him and tells him to turn on the TV, but he has to wait for the previous news story to end. Now imagine the impact that would have had if it came on right when we turned on the TV. Or The Simpsons take. Homer, it's a good thing you turned on the TV. Lisa, I didn't turn it in. Homer, whatever, you can turn it off now. Lisa, it is off. Cue spooky music. Whenever some idiot is running on foot while being chased by a car that's trying to run them down, they without fail always run straight down the middle of the street, when all they have to do is simply run off to the side where there's trees and lampposts and plenty of other shit to block them from getting hit. In that case, I always root for whoever's driving. This is common when running away from almost anything. Big boulder chasing you down, run straight, never turn. Some tall skinny pillar falling down, run lengthwise, don't try to sidestep it. Or when they do run to the side, it's always at the last second for style points, when they could have sidestepped it from the very beginning, but it wouldn't have looked as cool. In action movies, the hero, often alone, faces an army of trained veterans armed to the teeth, but they can't seem to know how to shoot, take cover, use tactics or fight. And why are they taking turns to get their asses kicked? Just stomp the motherfucker. Steven Seagal movies are the worst at this. Seagal will fight a whole room of bad guys who attack one at a time after announcing their presence. If all 8 of them just went in at once, they'd easily murder him. This is why people like Die Hard. Shaun C. Seeley kills a whole team of bad guys by himself, but he do it by outsmarting them, taking them one at a time. Every time he is outnumbered, he flee, and barely make it out. And not without getting seriously hurt. And his injuries don't magically disappear. What a shame of a downward spiral of sequels that was. The first 3 were pretty smart, fun, and had good action. The 4th, while not the worst thing I've ever seen, turns John M.C. Clay into invincible hero man. The 5th one is just a massive piece of shit. Edit, to all who are just now hearing about the 5th one, don't watch it, it really does suck ass. EMTs/doctors/random hero person using a defibrillator on a person that has flatlined. That is not how it works. You shock a flatline and all you do is make the patient even more dead. Flatliners get drugs to get their hearts beating, and then get shocked if that beat is abnormal. All you do is make the patient even more dead. He's dead, Jim. Goddamit, make him more dead. Rubs paddles. Clear. He's dead. Are you sure? Shocks yes. Most modern AEDs won't even let you shock someone if they are flatlining, or if they don't have an arrhythmia. Exactly. Unfortunately, the myth of shocking a flatly is so prevalent that most people don't seem to know that. I can only hope that if I keel over somewhere, the AED brought to me is particularly user-friendly. That bugs the shit out of my wife, RN, too. I make sure to point it out to her each time, just in case she's not paying attention. Any scene where chloroform knocks someone out in 2 seconds. I feel like Rio officially has gone too far. It takes at least 5 minimum, and the dose difference between asleep and dead is really slim. You'll also likely throw up while you're out, or after you wake up, so that's nice. Drowning revivals. Victim is pulled, blue, from the water. Couple of chest compressions, hero through gritted teeth says don't you die on me goddammit. Small arc of water shoots from the mouth of the victim as they cough twice and immediately regain consciousness, sit up and ask what happened. Alright. It's not the chest compressions that do it, it's the unconscious, possibly dead, person hearing don't you die on me, damn it. That really brings them back to life. Medical fact. I call secondary drowning is a thing, you can't just go on with your day. I don't think he knows about second drowning, Pip. When the plot necessitates the protagonist to be unconscious for several hours due to a blow to the head. Then he/she just regains consciousness, shakes their head a few times, and is back to normal. I've had several concussions from sports in my life, and only one where I lost consciousness, and that was for maybe several seconds. For that one I spent weeks fighting nausea, headaches, and vision problems. My mood was impacted for months. There's no way I could just get up and start kicking ass after being out for several hours. If you're out for several hours from a blow to the head, it's pretty unlikely you will ever wake up. Also, if someone cracks you on the head hard enough to induce unconsciousness, you're probably going to spend the next little while either seizuring, throwing up, or just really tired and dizzy. You're certainly not going to leap up and chase someone along a moving train. How terrible the bad guys are at shooting. And good guys just pull out a gun while running and shoot a dude dead from across the parking lot. The phone rings and the actor picks up the handset, listens for 2 seconds. Oh really? 1 second later. When? 1 second later. I'll be right there. Hangs up without saying goodbye. The actor turns around and relays a 30 seconds of details that he just learned in only 4 seconds. The home screen on the phone also being visible and clearly not in a call. That a sample can be DNA processed in 2 minutes so you know who your killer is. On Lucifer, it's so over the top, I'm not even mad. The CSI chick will be standing over the body at the crime scene and tell them what the lab results were. Ella really is crazy with that. Another thing I love is when they're in some kind of crisis and Ella's like, I can run it in the lab but it will take some time. And someone else is like, we don't have time. Which allows Ella to magically get DNA results in 2 minutes.